Hi guys, today we're going to go over my makeup bag if I wasn't a YouTuber. We're going to talk a little bit about cost because I think it's always interesting to calculate how much your makeup bag would cost if you had to repurchase the whole thing. And I asked on Instagram and got some very interesting answers. People were definitely surprised. And so I thought, since we're going to do Budget Beauty Month, I might kind of set the tone with, if I didn't do any of this, of everything I've tried, currently, what would I choose to be in my makeup bag and how much would that cost? So I'm going to put on some of this makeup, not all of it because I don't need a full face of makeup for what I'm doing today. But I thought I would throw some of it on and talk you through it as we go. So number one, the Skin Paradise Tinted Water Cream from L'Oreal. This was sent to me. This is something that 100%, if I had to pick from all of my foundations right now, this would be the one. I've seen videos of these. I mean, this is kind of like an amalgamation. It's my own version of this because I've seen videos of this where people are picking multiple things from each section. But I just kind of thought, if I was to have, and once upon a time when I wasn't a YouTuber, I didn't have more than one foundation. So I picked this one because I feel like it would just work for everything. This is a shade that's definitely too deep for me. It is, what is the shade? I'm not sure what the shade is. Light 1, which, I mean, I don't personally think that this is light. This is kind of medium for me. This is not what I would have called light in a foundation previously. That said, we are getting more and more shades now, which is obviously better, and I'd like to say that that's why, but I don't think that's why, because I don't think this has got like a crazy shade range. That said, it is too deep for me, but it's kind of just tinted. It does kind of blend out and not give you crazy coverage, so I feel like I can get away with it as long as I blend it down my neck, my ears. But if I was wearing something other than this, I really would kind of need to be kind of bronzing this whole area because it is too deep. I'm gonna go and pick up one that's going to work for me in the winter months because I'm obviously not going to get any more tan than this now. It's September. I'm so excited. So excited for September. It's autumn now in my mind. I know officially it's not autumn till something like the 22nd, but I don't care. I'm so excited. So the reason that I picked this was it just feels so nice on my skin. It's exactly the kind of coverage that I like day to day. It feels like serum. It's something like 70% water. And it is more like a serum foundation. Someone asked the other day about Bourjois Healthy Mix. It kind of reminds me of that. I would say this is slightly less coverage, but it does kind of remind me of that in the way that it feels and the way my skin feels when it's on there. It's just fresh. It feels really nice. So with that in mind, I've also put this in, and this is new to me, and it's kind of a bit of a wild card because of that, but the Born to Glow concealer from NYX has become a very fast favourite. When I unboxed it in a haul last week, I thought, I'm not sure if I'm going to like this. I was kind of disappointed with the size of the product. I just generally was a bit not sure about this, but it's so nice. It's, again, just the right amount of coverage for me. And day to day, I don't wear concealer. Like, if it's just like a regular, I would put on that Skin Paradise, and that's exactly right. It just kind of evens everything out, makes me feel like I'm put together, but it's not crazy. I've got a breakout from some hair removal on my chin right now that's super driving me crazy. But I wanted something that was a decent amount of coverage so that if this was the only foundation that I was going to have, I could build a little bit more coverage for a night out, because I would definitely put concealer on if I was going to do kind of my eyes and stuff. Day to day I'll do, even if I did a tiny bit of eyeliner or something, I'd still just wear that Skin Paradise and maybe like a little bit of mascara. Maybe some cheeks, I don't know. Concealer is definitely like an all-out product for me, where I know for some people it's an essential. I just kind of, and I know I'm blending it out here, but it's the smallest amount that is actually ending up there. I kind of just have a problem with the way that it settles often on me now. I'm just not a concealer person anymore, and I think it's my age. So I'm really liking this one. Doesn't settle too badly. I'm yet to find one that doesn't settle at all. But the weird kind of phase that I'm in is I don't want it to be too shiny. So I've tried things that are kind of more hydrating. Someone mentioned the stretch concealer from Glossier. That kind of thing, it's in theory should be exactly what I would want, but these kind of hollows under my eyes, I don't like that to be exaggerated because I don't have dark circles per se, but I do have like an actual indent here. And so when there's some shine, it makes me look like I have dark circles, but I don't. It makes my eyes look kind of drawn. It's not my bag. So I like that with this, although it's glowy, I don't think that it adds shine to that area. I just kind of think it brightens it up, and I really do like this. But again, brand new product. I'm not going to put this on right now, but I wanted to mention it. This is the Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator from NYX. Highly, highly recommend. I thought this would, again, I wasn't happy with the size of the product, but maybe I'm going to be proven wrong with this as well. I thought I'd run out of this really, really quickly. I don't use it all the time, but it's lasting a really long time, and I'd probably say I've got half of this and half of the other shade left as well. This is Gleam. I forget what the other one is. It's the palest one. And together, they make the most beautiful champagne. They're my favourite, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick this because I'm not having a bronzer. This would be the only bronzer that I would use. So it's just kind of like a sheeny. I've got a video on these, and if you'd be interested, I'll do another video on liquid highlighters because I'm really into them now. I would kind of just gives me a bit of a sheen. I could mix it with my foundation if I wanted to. I could add it on top of everything else to give me a proper highlight, or just give it a bit of a glow. I just really, really like this product, and everything in terms of wear, in terms of application, in terms of colours and stuff, this is my absolute favourite. The highlight that I'm actually going to have is this one. It's the Hourglass Travel Size Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light. You can get this from, I think, Cult Beauty. I will try my hardest to find everything and link it below. I know I don't always link things below. Part of me doesn't do that because I don't want you to feel I'm selling things to you. I am very aware, especially right now, we're all kind of trying to cut back, and I'm talking about the things that I'm really enjoying, but I don't want you to feel like I'm pushing these things on you because I'm going to get some kind of kickback. I really want to share the things that I really enjoy. And so often I'll list things but not link them. But especially with stuff like this, it's not always really simple to find. So I will try to link everything today, but just kind of bear that in mind. That is why I don't always do it. Also, I'm lazy. This I really enjoy, and I'm going to show you this on in a second, but it's my favourite highlight if I had to pick just one. And if I was to replace my entire makeup bag right now, this is the one that I would buy. I wouldn't buy the other ones immediately, maybe at some point, but this is the one that I would buy. Okay, I'm just going to decide kind of which step I'm going to do next. I'm going to do blush. So this NARS blush is in Sex Appeal. I have tons of blushes I love. I could definitely have picked any number of budget options in the blush category. The reason that I'm showing you this one, and the reason this would end up in my makeup bag, is it's unlike any others that I've tried. This is not even necessarily like the formula or anything, it's the colour specifically. It's like a slightly warm, never ever ever does this show as nicely on camera as it actually is in person. It looks so blah, and it kind of is, but it goes with everything. It's a warm, but just a little bit of something pink. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And you can never go too heavy-handed with it. I'm not a massive, massive fan of blush like on a regular basis. Oh my goodness. Did you know that there was a big thing of concealer down my face that whole time and didn't even tell me? I mean, guys, what kind of friends are you? Moving back to the blush. So it just gives me kind of like a healthy little pinched look. Very warm, very nice, very easy to use, simple, goes with everything. This is the reason that this would be my one and only blush if I was gonna curate my makeup collection. I'm not super excited about blush. I like a peachy blush right now, that's kind of what I'm into. Maybe I would pick one up here and there, but it's not something that would be like, oh, I can't wait to try this. And so I think I would just have one blush. I think that would be it. I'm now going to do my setting powder. That is the Morphe one that I've chosen. Again, I could go a million different ways with setting powder, but the reason I chose this one is because it's also in a compact. So I would take this with me. And this is the Filter Effect Finishing Powder in Filter 1, which is just an, I was going to say iridescent. That's not right at all. What is it? Translucent, that's right. Okay, so I like to do over my pores, the corner of my eyes to kind of set my concealer, T-zone, to my chin, and that's it. And I'll go kind of relatively heavy. Done. And forget about it for a second, because that's all going to kind of come to be in a second when we do the setting mist. I'm going to do the Hourglass just before the setting mist as well. Eyes. I went back and forth for ages about this. I'm also going to have to sit slightly down because, oh, I'm on my knees and I've lost all of the feeling in my feet. The Naked palette. This is the one that I decided, this is it. It's got everything that I could possibly need. I tried to maybe make do with the Naked Basics or choose a lower cost palette, choose any other palette, and this is it. This is the one for me. I could do everything that I could possibly want with this palette. I know for a fact, if I had never discovered YouTube, I wouldn't have more than one eyeshadow palette. I wouldn't have more than one eyeshadow palette, and it would be this. I would have found this one, I would have used it, and that would be me for my life. And I know that there are lots of you watching who you could do exactly this exact exercise in the vein of if you'd never discovered YouTube, if you didn't watch YouTube videos. Not just if you weren't a YouTuber, but if you hadn't found this community, which definitely makes you feel like you need new things, you need a million different palettes, you need 1,000 different lipsticks, you probably would just have a couple of things. And this is what was so interesting about doing this. So the Naked palette, I think I'm just going to put like a little bit of something on my eyes. I'm going to go for, I used to use Buck and Naked all the time, so let's go for that. I did Buck in my crease. Fun fact, when the Naked palette came out, I actually worked on counter for Urban Decay in Meadowhall. Funner fact, I got that job through Gumtree. I'd already been making YouTube videos, and I decided to apply for this job and send links of YouTube videos where I was talking about Urban Decay as kind of a covering letter. I feel like, I don't know if this would work now, I suppose maybe Instagram and stuff, but I definitely think there was a moment where if you worked for a brand, you weren't allowed to talk about other brands. I'm sure that's not the case now. I do think there was a second when they didn't know what they were going to do, because this was all very new at the time. But that totally got me the job, and I went for the interview, and I remember saying, I remember this interview so vividly. I remember saying to the guy, so what about shifts? And because I'd never really worked in a shop. I worked in a shop straight out of school, but I was 16, and since then I haven't had any experience whatsoever working in retail. And so I said to the guy, so what happens with shifts? Like, how do I find out about blah, 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 blah? And he said, oh, well, you'll decide that. You can work all of that out. And I was thinking he meant like within the team. And I got there, day one. I'm also going to use I'm going to use a little bit of Smog because it's my fave. Day one, and I was the counter manager with, I cannot exaggerate is the word I'm looking for. Absolutely no experience. Never worked on a makeup counter before. No makeup training, which I was then given no makeup training. Obs. And no management training. And when I worked there, I had to do a business plan and was basically on call 24/7 to the area manager guy. It was not my favourite job. Really, really bizarre. I had to sell, all kinds of things that I didn't understand because it was just, but I remember having to sell eyelashes, and if you sold the eyelashes, you had to like put them on the person if that's what they wanted. And I remember on New Year's Eve, I was like desperately trying to put these eyelashes on this girl. I didn't ever wear eyelashes, so I don't know where we were going with this, but it was a nightmare. So yeah, but I still, I just love Urban Decay eyeshadows. Don't know what to tell you. Epic Ink liquid liner from NYX is my current favourite liquid liner. Now, everyone just hold their breath because I haven't done liquid liner in months. I don't even think, have I done it since lockdown? I don't think so. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm going to just try like a little flick right at the very edge because I don't want to do a whole thing. I might even just leave it at that. I'm happy not to have ruined my makeup like that. And then I think I'm going to do a tiny smudge along with some shadow. What thrilling content for you to watch me do this in real time. Never even. Your eyeliner, it just gets like larger and larger until it gets even, doesn't it? And the problem, like that one is beautiful, but then I relax my eye and it's mental. The problem is my eyes are two totally different shapes because of the hooding. Hooding? Is that a word? I think you know what I'm talking about. But they are two completely different shapes, and so when I do my winged liner, that ends up two different shapes. I think it's probably time to stop. This is my favourite for a couple of reasons. Easiest to work with. Always seems to be, and I haven't used that for months, always seems to come out really, really fluid and black, 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 and it doesn't transfer. It doesn't fade. It's really, really nice. It used to be Kat Von D was my favourite, the tattoo ink. Now that's my favourite. I've also got this in here instead of a pencil liner. This is the Pixi Endless Shade Stick by Petra. Pixi by Petra. This was also sent to me, by the way. And I use this with this kind of thing. I'll just put it on there, smudge it out. I find this to be a way softer, way easier, smoky eye, little bit of eyeliner, then maybe top it with some eyeshadow. I love that. Really, really like the look of that. It's just a softer eye look. I'm less into black eyeliner now, unless it is a winged liner. Okay, what else have we got here? Moving on with our lives. I think I'm going to do the Hourglass. So the thing that I love about this, if I was to pick just one highlight, is it's just so flattering. If you are over 30 and you're thinking, I'm hating the shimmers and every time I do an eyeliner, every time I do something with highlight, it kind of exaggerates my pores and everything's kind of sheeny and doesn't make me look nicer, I'm with you. I'm completely with you. Sometimes I go for it anyway because I like the look of it. Maybe up close it doesn't look that great, but hey. However, with this one, it's just a glow. I could put this all over my face and it would not be too much, but what I really like to do is put it here. It's just like, it's so pretty. Such a pretty skin look. I really love it. And you probably, I mean, if I really go for it on my nose, you'd be able to see. Can you see that? Maybe. I am going to show you in proper light in a second when we're done, but that is where I would put that, kind of down again, T-zone-ish, but not my chin, and then under my eyes, which seems mad, but so pretty. Mascara. Now, this is kind of old at this point because I've been trying different ones, but I wanted to throw it in here because I still think it's my favourite. At the moment, I've been using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I really like it, but it transfers. It does transfer up here on me, and because I have got hooded eyes and I probably scrunch my face up a lot, that's the reason that this is still my all-time favourite, because I like that it lengthens and separates. I still like the look that I get. Ooh, did I just poke myself? I don't know. I need a mirror to do these things. I still like the look that I get, but it just doesn't crumble. It doesn't look worse. It doesn't end up here. Just love it. It's still my favourite. This is pretty much dead. It's like, why are you even trying to use me at this point? But the formula of it, the brush of it, I come back to it time and time again. And since I've been doing this, since I've been kind of like, it's taken me a few days to make this list of like, really, 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 what would it be? I think I'm going to have to reorder one of these because this is definitely past its best. But I still love it. It's just the best, best, best. Right. Okay. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. I think I'm pretty much done, all but for these three things. Fingers crossed. I will make a full list below. So if you look at the list and you're like, you never mentioned that, just know I love it. So the Continuous Setting Mist from Morphe had to be on this list, obviously. I've tried the matte one. It's nice, but this is the best one. Again, talking of flattering makeup, something that's actually going to make you look nicer. This is the one. I'm completely embracing the glow now, the oilier skin that's giving me kind of a It gives me more of a dewy look. I'm not into the matte. The mattifying one is nice if I know I'm going to be out all day. I don't want to be powdering all of the time. Instead of any powder, it basically is kind of like an aerosol powder. Nice. But this is just magic. When you've put all of your makeup on, you feel a bit heavy, especially right now we've not been wearing makeup. Suddenly you put it all on and you're like, ugh, this is terrible. Spray this on. I'll show you exactly how much. That's plenty. If you want to go for more, you can. Spray this on, and it just seems, I remember before I bought this, several people used the same exact analogy, and whether someone else used it and they all got it from her, I don't know. But it melts all of your makeup together. It just seems to kind of like connect all of those layers and make everything just look like skin. It's magical. I feel like I've missed a bit of my face. There. And it feels so nice, of course, anyway. I love that it's an aerosol. I had a problem with it before I purchased it because I thought the aerosol is just going to run out straight away. What is the point? I'm not purchasing this at like £15 a time and it like being a month and it's done. And it's not. I can't really tell how much is left. But I bought this in December. Obviously, we've been in lockdown, so I'm not wearing makeup all the time. But even if I just saved this for special occasions, I think I could probably get a year out of it if I was using it like just on the weekends. So let's say if I was using it, I mean, I'm no good at maths, but this is probably terrible. But if I was repurchasing it every like 2 to 3 months, I would be happy with that because it's so amazing. Lips. Now, the one thing I'm missing here, again, my knees and my feet, they don't like me right now. So the one thing I'm missing here is a lip liner because I don't have a lip liner that I feel 100% if I lost everything. Ow, kicked the table. That was like the table just attacked my foot. I don't have a lip liner that I feel that 100% I would go and buy this one to match this. Because the one I use for this is from H&M and they don't make it anymore. And it was a lip liner called Mascara. It was a warm orangey red. This is the Generation G lipstick from Glossier in Zip. I've just repurchased another one in the new packaging because this fell apart the other day and ruined my jumper. It's the old packaging, which is all white, the whole white tube, and then ta-da. So the new one is like a proper bullet with a metal thing, and I'll show you when it arrives. These are like blotted lipsticks. What I like about these is you can apply them, kind of spread them out a little bit, blend them out, and they just look like just bitten lips. Or I apply it with a lip liner as a bold red lip, which I do more often, and it's kind of a muted colour. This is the perfect red for me. It's kind of a bit rusted, just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous red. So I would have to have this because this whole year, if I've wanted a bold colour, it's been this. And lip gloss. This is where I was really, am I going to pick my Dior Lip Maximizer? If I lost everything right now and I had to repurchase everything that I could possibly need for any kind of makeup look, and I have to say also, I maybe would have a little bit of glitter in here. I might have done an Urban Decay Stardust eyeshadow because just as like a topper that would have been nice. That's the only thing that I feel maybe I would have had at some point. Otherwise, everything here is every eventuality, what would I need? So with that in mind, I decided on the Fenty Gloss Bomb lip gloss instead of the Dior, because the Dior I love. Eventually I would buy that again for myself just to have in my handbag. It's like a milky, easy to wear gloss that's just, it's almost like a lip balm, but it feels more put together. So it was one that I would always have in my bag. I would put it on while I was at work and I felt like, I just felt made up, but it wasn't too much. And I really, really do love that. But in terms of, what is wrong with me? In terms of makeup, I think it's going to be this because it's got sheen to it. It's got a bit of a shimmer, a bit of colour. If I was going to do a really heavy eye and I wanted kind of a nude lip, I would wear this instead. I like a gloss, especially kind of like a nude sheery, a nude sheer gloss, because easy to reapply. You're never really worried about it smudging or looking terrible, which is this. And this one, I don't think I like the smell of this one, truth be told. It's got a really overly synthetic-y vanilla scent. Don't think I love it, but I do really like, it's not sticky. I really, really like the texture of these. I like the colour of this on me. If I was going to pick one gloss, it would be this one. I've made the decision. That is it. It is 100%. but I would really miss the Dior and I would probably eventually buy that. So all of this comes to £200, give or take a couple of pounds. I was going through and working out, well, I could probably do it for less than £100. I could probably do it less than £150. I came to the conclusion that I just wanted to share with you truthfully what I would buy right now, what I'm really enjoying, the things, the highlights. There are things in here that I definitely could have swapped out for cheaper things and do on a regular basis. But if I was only going to have makeup for me and I was never thinking about sharing it with other people, as in online, I wasn't thinking about recommending it to people, I wasn't thinking I'm going to have to buy 50 more blushes to try and test and recommend, these would be the things that I would buy. I think it's completely different when you're buying one face of makeup and that's the only blush that you're going to use for the foreseeable. That's different to how I kind of live my life. I'm not buying a NARS blush on a regular basis. It's just not going to happen. And if I was to lose all of my makeup overnight, I probably wouldn't go out and buy £200 worth of makeup. I would probably pick and choose and say, well, I really like this and I really like this. But I'd probably go all budget and then eventually swap things out to the items that I've shown you here, realistically. The really, really interesting thing for me, which every time we've talked about this, because it's kind of come up in Instagram stuff and in other videos before, is for us to tot up how much we think our makeup bag is worth. And I got so many comments on that when I asked on an Instagram story the other day. And I would say that the average is about £150. There were some that were really, really small, to like £25. There were some that were kind of like less than £100. They were still very much like the lesser. I would say most people that responded were in the region of £150. And then there were a few that were like £600, £800. And I know it sounds mad, and this is not including brushes. I know it sounds mad, but if you work it out, there's a lot of stuff. Like you buy a naked palette, and especially now, when I bought this naked palette, it was £27. And this is, I want to say, 38 now. It's a lot more expensive now. But you don't go and buy all of these things at once. You buy them gradually over time, and you just don't ever sit down and go, oh my God, this is worth this. If you went and bought a NARS blush, you might go into Primark and spend £25 and not really think anything of it. In fact, if you went to Primark and spent £25, you'd be like, bargain. Wouldn't even matter what you'd bought. You'd feel like you came away a winner because you didn't spend £100. Go into wherever and buy a NARS blush and you're like, I've spent so much money on this one thing. But then at the same time, it's the same amount of money. And you don't really ever think about the cost of the thing again until you actually come to add it all up, and it's nuts. So some things I would definitely repurchase immediately. Some of these things would be replaced over time. But I would be really interested to know from you guys how much your current makeup bag is worth. And we're talking everything. Like when I said that on Instagram, I said a full face. This is more than a full face. I could do a full face for a lot less. But this is everything I could possibly need for every kind of makeup eventuality if I had to replace everything. And so I suppose right now, these are some of my like hardcore favorites. These are some of my couldn't live without favorites. So hopefully it's useful in that capacity as well. But from Friday, we are talking budget only. I thought it would be a fun exercise to kind of assess how much money we're really spending on makeup before we dive into the lower cost stuff. Because I think a lot of you will be surprised by the cost of your makeup bag from the response that I got from Instagram. So yeah, let me know in the comments how much you think yours is worth. And that is going to be it for this epically long video that I'm not going to edit. It's going to be half an hour long. You're welcome. I'm sorry if you've made it this long. And I'm going to go and do some work now because I took a lunch break to film this video because it's been absolutely manic with the kids going back to school and Elle's birthday and whatever else. And I've just got nothing done at all. So next week when the kids are actually at school on my days off, which are my YouTube days, I can't wait to actually properly dive into this again. September is my absolute favourite YouTube month, it just is. Also, do you like my top knot? I know, I thought I'd leave it in because I didn't want to put my makeup. Something wrong with me today. I don't put my hair down just to put makeup on. It seemed crazy, so I've gone 80s today. That's what's happening. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe if you've made it this far, and I will see you guys on Friday with, hopefully, a Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse review and day test. Bye.